Hi everybody, so Lily here. I need to talk today about a few things. Um, First, I need to talk and reflect on my two interviews that I did last month with Collective Imagination, with Lisa D and Brian. So I need to just give you guys my opinions, and most of all, I wanted to talk about what happened afterwards. Um, what was the reaction to it, and my observations are of what those interviews did, and it was pretty interesting, and it was incredible to say. I honestly did not expect the reaction that I got. I did expect a lot of rejection and actually attacks and all of that stuff, which did happen, uh, but um, the outcome was interesting. So I'll go into that, and there's a few other things that I need to go into as well. Um, I need to go into a little bit more details on this astral timeline and this astral reality that is imposed on this planet right now, because this is going to be very important for Earthlings to figure out how to um, basically undo it, how to get rid of it, how to stop all this. And pretty much destroy it. This is what we'll have to do eventually, is to destroy this astral reality that is imposed on this planet, for the planet to be able to move forward on her timeline. So I need to talk about that, and also I want to go into, because I did say to some of you guys that I will reflect also on some of the material that was suggested to me that is um, could be useful, or that it has similarities to what we've been talking about. And so those materials are like John Lash and Wingmakers materials. Um, those two I did go into, and I want to talk about those two. I also was suggested that the guy Sivan Bomar and his Real Matrix videos. I haven't gone into that, so whenever I do, I will, I guess, make another video about that. And also Aisha North. I haven't heard anything about that, but I will go into those materials about John Lash material and Wingmakers, because I did, I mean, I didn't go into John Lash a lot. I haven't read that book yet, but I will. I have it now. Esteban sent it to me, so thank you, Esteban. But Wingmakers, I went into that. The other thing is that I need to talk about in near future. I don't know if I'm going to get into it today or not, but it's about the Earthlings and our visibility now, because we have become visible, and what does it mean, and how it is, uh, and how it gonna affect this imposed astral reality right now. And I'm gonna go into a little bit into how this reality, astral reality, keeps feeding itself, and so the circle of that creation of this astral reality, I will go into that circle of that astral life, um, and what role do we play in it, and how, if we figured it out and know how it works, then we'll know how to break it down, because this is what's going on right now. Earthlings have become um, a virus to this astral programming. You're a virus now, and so they don't like you. So they will patch those viruses, they will reboot their programs, they will upgrade their programs, and I can go into details about how it's done. But let's start first with me reflecting on the interviews. As you guys know, I was just not prepared to go on that, but I had to do it. I just never thought that I will have to go and talk on radio about all this stuff, but I did, and it turned out great because I think that a lot of people were ready for this information. Um, and I know that last 2 years I haven't really been in alternative media a lot. I just haven't listened to a lot of things, but apparently um, this is where a lot of people are going. This is the direction that a lot of groups on the planet are taking right now, and it's such a relief for me to know that there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are coming to this conclusion and have the desire to stay with the planet. And it was shocking in such a good way to me, and I know that I probably should have prepared myself a little bit more with at least getting to know what Lisa and Brian and Dee and that whole group, what they've been working on, because until I went on their interview, I haven't listened to any of their stuff in the last year or so. So, but and this is where there was a little bit of a trouble for me understanding their terminology, because they had a little bit of a different terminology that I'm used to with some of the people that I know that have been in contact on the internet. So, but I think we figured it out, and yes, it is, the first interview is a little bit difficult because the connection, first of all, the connection was horrible, and I couldn't really understand. A lot of times I was guessing what they were asking me, so but the second one I think went really well, and a lot of things got cleared up. So it was very interesting. But the reaction of people, it was interesting too, because I knew that because this is information, and the way it gets this information, it gets into astral level, because when you bring it into your mental body, and then there was all these people, thousands of people that heard this, and they're receiving this with their mental body. They have the receivers in their mental body, in their head, that connects them to an astral level. And then so basically what happens is this information got into astral levels. So, and that information, when people, so many people listening to this information, that's astral levels pay attention to that. And so they did. And they freaked out a little bit, because this information, it's like, because astral levels, they run this reality. It's like program. Mind control is the program. This is the people. This is how it all gets mind controlled. So this is who these people are. They are working through pineal gland. They control them through pineal gland, and they send them like information, through that. So I call this programming. It's a program that runs like a computer program. And so what happens is, with this information I come out and talk about, and other people, I guess when they talk about this, it gets their attention. And so what happens is, this shows up, this information shows up like a virus to that program. And so what they have to do, they have to patch the holes, restart the program, reboot the program, maybe upgrade it, update it, and all of that stuff. So there's people that run this program, like a lot of the spiritual teachers that are listening here, that are doing this programming. They get their chains yanked, they get themselves upgraded, and the way they do that is to, I've seen this even after my interviews. I've seen people actually starting to use a little bit of that terminology. Like I talk a lot about harvest, and all of a sudden somebody else they get their program upgraded, they integrate that terminology in it, but then they twist it to work for the program. But eventually, Earthlings on this side, will bring in so many viruses to all these programs. Some of them are listed here, but there's a lot more. But whatever's duality out there, you see all this astral level stuff. This is all program, and is gonna have to brought down and revealed for what it is. And so have to create viruses. And so there's a lot more viruses because there's a lot of layers and a lot of different programs that control and impose astral reality on this planet. So there was a lot of damage control, and I'm sure there's going to be more. And there's some teachers out there that you can just tell they got an upgrade, because they just start using some of the terminologies. They integrate and twist the information, and I got a lot of that. Oh, you stole this from that person or that person, or this is just information that you're repeating from all these people. Well, I am not claiming that I'm the only one that has this information. There's 15% people on the planet that have the access to the same information. So this is, I said, the planet is not keeping it for one person, and it doesn't have that special person. I'm in no way special. So 15% of this internet on the planet can have access to this information. So, but the twists are so weird because they say that I took information from some of these people. Like they're talking that what I did when I talk about some of these teachers from this side that are mind controlled slaves of astral levels, I wanted to give an example because they do reveal in their own teachings, they do reveal that they're running the program. It's just that all of them will never tell you the whole truth. It's going to be distorted, and it's going to be half-truths. But if you know how to process any kind of information with your center, you will know where the distortions are. You will know where distortions are. And you actually, these people, when you create a virus for their program that they're running, a harvesting program or astral feeding programs, you will have to know this program. And honestly, they're gonna reveal themselves that they run the program. You just give them a little virus and they go berserk, and and it's just funny to watch. It's incredible how creative they get and how much they can twist and turn and all of that stuff. But they've done it for so long. I'm not worried about that at all. I mean, people will eventually start recognizing that. But it's just the people that do get those upgrades, and it's for damage control, and they start talking about it. They'll talk about harvest, but they'll talk about this is one example. They'll start talking about harvest, on alternative media. They talk about harvest, but they somehow twist it that harvest energy and feeding astral only comes from a negative side, and then they will direct people to do the positive side of harvesting, and they'll call it something else, and they'll call the other side harvesting, and it's like, how clear do you have to be? But yet, no matter how clear you are that both sides are harvesting, people will still twist and turn because they're running the program. It's not them, they're just a robot. It's so sad because a lot of these teachers, they're just sad to hear, because they will admit that they don't do anything without astral guidance. They won't live their life, their day, without astral guidance. What are they? they're just a shell. There is no self in there. There is nothing. It's like you're lower than anything. I mean, this is how they treat themselves. This is what they've done to these people. This is how much they brainwash first those that impose these programs on the rest of the humanity. And then the rest of the humanity follows. And that actually is just belittling your own self first. And you know, they will admit it. They will admit it that they are so little that they won't do a thing without astral guidance. Ashaya Nadine once told them that she can't start her day, and everything she does in her life, she checks with guardians first. And I mean, she said everything, and I think it's including going to the restroom. She's got to check with them. What kind of slave are you, and how many chains do you have on yourself to be so submissive and have so little value to your own being? It's just sad. It's sad. And so, but this is what they do, and this is their reaction. But we just got to stay on track and keep creating those viruses for all these programs, because right now they're struggling, because they're becoming visible. The programs are becoming visible. It's really an interesting time. I know that a lot of you guys are tired and been, you know, studying all this stuff, all these programs, and you've been getting into all this stuff, and but now the real work is only beginning. So you have to create viruses. You have to destroy this program. You have to destroy all the programs, because it's programs. All of this is programs through which they harvest energy and harvest humanity. So what I'm going to go into next is I'm going to show you, and again I have to make my little thing here, because you know those ones I didn't make them, so Esteban did, and this one is just fresh, because I wanted to talk about this recycling that's going on, and why they harvest and feed on this planet, and why on human body, you know, and so I'm gonna first start. So this is where it starts. Step one. This is humans on the planet, and so the astral beings, to create this reality on the planet. Here, I probably should put a planet here, but anyway, to create reality, they have to. They don't have energy to create it with, because remember how astral levels are inorganic. They're disconnected from internal creation, so they cannot have access to that. There's very tiny bit of it, 3.3% of that organic frequency, but that just only takes to sustain in place the moon and astral levels. But the physical body and emotional body has 33% of that. But so first, let me show you this. Okay. So this is what we have within the body, and the planet, our body is just like a planetary body, and so the core of this planet is fully organic. So this is the core, and then the core. I mean, it's not maybe not fully organic, but it is pretty close to it. Okay. So what that is, it's what I call internal creation, which I also call organic frequency, because organic frequency is not like frequency, it is internal creation frequency. And lately I started calling that as earth energy, because they're energy harvesting. So I started calling earth energy because it's the easiest way to explain. So when I talk about, and this is just been talking to a couple of people on Skype, and so instead of using organic frequency because it's confusing for some people, I come up with this, just that it's earth energy, which is that organic frequency that they are after. And this is what some people say, well, that energy that we have within us, and again, this is on one of the interviews, radio shows that Lisa D and Brian did on collective imagination, and they went into this little bit, what etheric gold is, which is this is what it is. And so but I left this blank because I want to go into this, what that turns into. So this is what actually is etheric gold. It's that earth energy that we, just like a planet, have 33% of our blueprint is of that. So that's a lot of energy. So this is why they do everything possible to feed. So the first step for astral beings is to get the human in human body willingly give that etheric gold, that earth energy to them, to astral levels. Okay? So when they give that, because they have to willingly give it to them. Okay? This is what, because this is your worth, that etheric gold, that earth energy is your worth, that they tell you the opposite, that you're worthless without them. So you can give your power, your energy, your earth energy that you carry within your body, through your emotional body, you release it to them. This is all the prayers, the visual creation, the creation in duality, manifestations in duality, all of that stuff, all the material things that you think that you mentally can create. So what happens is you release or you give that etheric gold to them. Okay? This is where it goes first to astral level, and sometimes they send some of it or they give some of it because they're hierarchy here. Okay, so a lower level serves the higher level, and that higher level is lower level for another higher level. So that higher level, it has full control over each lower level. So there's a lot of it, and so I put that in there because there is a lot of that in astral levels. They go through levels and it goes all the way to the top, to the top. Where is that? This one right here. So this is the astral levels. We know that. So it goes all the way to the top, and this on and off if you are getting a lot of it. But anyway, that's another conversation. So that goes over there too, because there's ships that are like planet big. They're big ships. They're over there. They're suffering, and they are here around the planet is because they need to feed. They don't have any other energy to get from anywhere else. So this is how they are getting. This is how they're tricking, because that etheric gold that you have, it is very powerful. I talk about that in the interview. It's very powerful, and they can create a lot out of it. You think it's nothing, your energy is worthless, because they've been working this campaign against humanity, and to make humanity believe how worthless they are, that they are not worth anything. All they worth is the actual metal gold, and I'll get to that, what that actual metal gold is. So this is like I would say like a human would you know, eat a food. If we eat an apple, and this is a process of how it goes through your system. So because this astral levels, this is a big beast that eats human earth energy that we give it willingly, because they installed these programs and belief systems that we're worthless without them. Okay, so we're worthless, and we're nothing. And the same thing they do to the planet. They put down planets so much, yet they're all here, and so many of them here want something from this planet. If the planet was worthless, well, why the heck are you here? Just go home. Go home to your enlightened planet. Why the heck are you here? You know, they're funny sometimes, but so it goes here, and then what happens is, this is where everything, like, you eat an apple here, and everything, all the nutrition gets absorbed. Everything that can be used from this etheric gold from here gets used, and what comes down here is through a program. There's programs, mental creation programs. They install this in your mental body, and through your mental body they send you, I guess, mental images or whatever of what your reality and what your worth is. And your worth is what? The amount of money you have in the bank, the car that you have, the house that you have, or whatever. This is your prosperity. And your prosperity lies in what it's all comes down to money, and how much money, how much things you can buy for the money. And money is supposed to be backed by real gold. And so what is that real gold? This is the step 3, was everything that got absorbed by them. And so the real gold is what your worth is. They're telling you here that your real gold. That is actually, if you think about the process of how everything goes through a person when they feed on something. This is a much bigger thing, but I have this image and this is where, I'm sorry, but this is where my weird sense of humor comes in, because the real gold is actually their crap. And this is what humans been programmed to value themselves as, that they are worth the crap of this astral beings. That's their worth. Because that's what real metal gold is. It's this etheric gold that gets processed. Everything, any creative energy that can be sucked out of it gets sucked out of it by this. And then you get the shit, because they'll tell you, okay, this is now this is your, we took everything, and now you can have your reality. Okay, so you manifest that reality, and this is the evidence of this. That new banking system based on gold. People are all about gold. Gold is this astral being's shit. That's what it is. So good luck with that. Those that support and think that your value lies in that new system is going to give you that value. I'll go into that separately, but that whole thing is so disgusting. So disgusting. And people that support it and push that on humanity, they're disgusting. That's all I'm going to say about them. They're a disgusting excuse for human beings. They're just slaves. Slaves powerless slaves that just do what they're told. Just a shell of a person, you know. It's just when I talk about people, when I think of their energy, because I know them energetically, I can see their energy. Oh, it is just sad. It's sad. But anyway, this is what you get. You get, after all this get processed, so this is your existence here that's imposed, that you prayed for, right here, for all the good things to happen to you and to have that money for all the things. This is basically what happened. You give them something that you willingly give them, the etheric gold, your energy, earth energy, because and then they create all they create out of it, and basically what you get is their shit, and that's what you feed yourself on, and that's what you think that you're worth that gold, that metal, that's gold. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's great metal, but that actual metal, gold, that's what comes out after they process all this. And so you are stuck with your reality that is built and created out of their shit, astral shit. Okay? So then, I'm sorry, but I think this analogy, because it's so funny with how it's shit, and actually we use a lot of that word about this reality, and they use it, but they create it for you, and then the cycle goes back. So you think you got gold here in your manifested reality that you got from them, and then what? Another cycle goes in there, and then if you want something more, you gotta go through the cycle. You gotta feed them, and then you gotta come back, and again you gotta build everything on their shit, and manifest what they allow you to manifest, which is all, you know. So this is what it is. Our money system is the lowest of the lowest, and it's based on gold. So basically the metal gold is that astral beings and all of those beings that are out there using and abusing you here to give your power away to them. They shit that out, and you build your reality on that. This is what people do. And this is what amazes me, how people protect this process. They will fight me physically, probably, for saying this. People that will see that, and they're involved in this, and they're protecting and running this program, astral program, for people to, you're just a fool if you do that, because you don't understand. Your worth is right here in being human on the planet. This is your worth within you, that earth energy. And it's worth so much more. And if you can just cut it off and say, excuse me, no more, that creative power you have with the planet, on the planet, is immense. But people will protect, and they would want to destroy me for saying that, and calling this reality that was created by all this light beings for us, and you've given the scraps of your own power from here. By the time you hear your existence that you think they provided for you, it's just the scraps of your own energy that you gave them, and then they processed it, and then they shit out for you a little bit of scraps to have some kind of reality. This is what's going on. So now that process, earth energy, that switches etheric gold, and if you insert this process in here, then you can put gold as a metal here, a money system, and all of that stuff. This is what comes out. So that's that. So I mean, how are we gonna? How else am I gonna explain to people that it is your power that you giving to them, to the astral beings? All that, and they are running commercial on selling you a reality that is not possible. It's all wrong, you know. Let me give you an analogy, okay? When you follow the guardians, the the aliens, the archangels, and you're giving them your power, all those, even your own higher self, if it's stuck in astral, and you're giving it power, all the gods, goddesses, and the counselor of nine, the white brotherhood, the black, the green, whatever, the red, the the Alhambra Council, because Alhambra Council is in astral level. You give them all your power. So this is, I'll give you, it's very popular commercials here in America for the car. They, they show you this expensive brand new car that's not worth what they're won for. And I've seen this commercial, I don't remember where, but anyway, it shows you how, this guy gets in the car, and all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of girls see this car, and they just in love with this car, and they're all got into the car, and they have a party in the car, and he's all happy, and so that's the commercial, okay? And then, of course, this is the car. It's all, you got to buy this car because then you're going to have an incredible life. And then somewhere in that commercial, there is somebody saying that car company had a profit of, billions or millions or whatever, gazillions of dollars. And you should be proud of that. And I've seen that with people, because the astral beings run that commercial. They're telling you, but what is the outcome? What they really, that when they do put out that commercial for the car, what is the reason why they want to do? Because they will do anything in that commercial and give you any kinds of hopes, so you actually take the money out of your pocket and you give them all that money for the car, thinking that you're going to get a certain things out of it by having that car. And then they'll tell you, oh, we ripped you off enough to make big profits. They're telling you in commercial, because they're ripping you off, because their outcome, what they're trying to achieve with that commercial, is to sell that car and to make money. This is not to give you happiness and joy with the car, it's to make money off of you. So this here, they run that commercial. They run that commercial on people, and if you're human here and you give into that, then you are the fool who believes that by buying that car and paying your money, your earth energy, paying into that somehow you're going to get a happy reality. No, they just want your energy. You're not going to get anything. You're going to get stuck with the car payments and more in debt than before. And on the end of that commercial, they even will tell you that they made big profits off of you, and that you should be proud to have that car. This is how I felt when Shayana Dean said that Alhambra Council got 900 years out of people here that did all the hard work to give that energy to them. The idiots that give their energy were all happy and clapping. You clapping so they ripped you off and you're happy about that? It's just never stops to amaze me how people, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to call those people idiots, because they're fools. They're fools because they're buying into that commercial. They bought into that commercial, and they actually think and believe that if they give that energy, if they buy that car, that they will get all that lifestyle that is presented to them. You're being fooled, and for that, you're a fool. So, but this is how, this is the cycle. This is the cycle, the astral level creation cycle that we have. We have this on the planet right now in post because we have 85% of people protecting this creation, working for it, slaving every day away, slaving themselves away, slaving away their earth energy, giving it away. This is what's happening, and this is that situation. So I probably will go a little bit more in detail about this cycle here, and then I of course will need to go into how to stop this. But first, guys have to get on whatever your subjects are in these programs, whatever you run into the life, and work on it. If you need to get to know again, because right now you have the ability, you have that ability. If you are a center station, you have the ability to figure it all out. Where's lies, where's truth, where's everything, because these people right here, they'll always give you a truth, because they have to give. It's like, you go fishing, you put a worm on the hook. If you throw a hook, an empty hook, into the water, you're not going to get fish. This is why you got to put a worm on it. This is why all these people will have some truth, and I've said this before. They all tell a lot of truth, and so this makes me wanted to go into those materials that it was suggested for me to take a look at, which is Wingmakers, John Lash, and those other people. I'm gonna go into John Lash and Wingmakers right now, but on those people I'll have to find time to go in and to listen to that material. So Wingmakers, and I know there was a lot of controversy and all of that stuff about it, but that material is going to be the same as this material. If there is material on this planet that has not been distorted in some way or another, I don't think so. But there is truth in all of those materials. Even the Bible has truth in it. It's very little of it, a lot of twisted, but what you can do is right now you have the ability, because you are now, if you center station right here, if you're this person, you do have the ability to feel it, what is twisted and what is not. And so Wingmakers, absolutely twisted. There is two different versions apparently. One is more twisted than the previous one, or even using this language, it's already going to be twisted. When you use English language to bring something, it's like taking an apple, putting through a grater, and what you get when somebody writes it down or talks about it, what you get is grated pile, which was an apple. So especially when you get in information from the center, I mean, you have to find the words, and the words are all twisted and messed up and distorted and all reversed. And so, and they mean different things to different people. So, yes. And the other thing is, like, this second distortion that they did, they inserted that, that hierarchy in it. But they did it, not a lot of it. They did a little bit of it. Um, but like, think about it. That material has a lot of truth in it. But when they do distort some of it, and they put out two different versions of it, or distort just a little bit, and then people would go, I don't know which one is true. If it's this one or that one, and just because I can't figure it out, I don't know, then I'm just going to disregard both of those versions and not pay attention to any of it. And then they've achieved their goal. They discouraged you from looking into it. What I recommend for people is look into anything that's out there that remotely might have something on it, because it could be useful to you. At least for me, there was a lot of confirmation that there is other people out there that put out this type of material. Yeah, it's gonna get distorted. You know what? Even my little tiny interviews with Lisa, it already weeks, not even weeks after that, there was other people in alternative media that went ahead and distorted my information. So yeah, it's gonna happen. So that's just, it's expected. We can't think that it's not gonna happen. And so that with that, I'm not telling people, oh, just take every word for it. But there's a lot of it in it, and I got to the point where it's like I'm so starting to feel everything so much that I almost like the distortions don't even mentally register when I read something. It just, and it's like, okay, well, but I expect that. I expect everything. And same thing with John Lash. This is a great thing. I didn't know that there was, at least a record of some of these things that we've been feeling and getting from the planet directly. There is a record of it that he translated. But again, it's a record. There's things that are going to be missing from there. There's things that are going to be twisted, or things that are going to be misunderstood. Not all 100% of it is going to be 100% of it. But at least it's a confirmation. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Well, I would love to have a conversation with John. And, because right now, this is the thing. We have this written record, but right now we have 15% of population that is living, breathing, walking records of this planet. Because we hold all the information in our own selves. It's just a matter of time that we need to figure it out how to unlock all of it. It's gonna be all available. It may not be all available to one person, but we can all put it together because our mental bodies have no capacity to hold all that information. But we have capacity in ourselves to hold all of it, because we are the planet and the planet is us. There is no disconnect, there's no separation. So if you want the information, history, and all of that, this is how you're going to get it. The planetary information. These people, they'll give you alien information and history. You want to know about alien history, how they got here, how they're at war all the time, and how they are fighting, and how that oneness, meaning fight each other. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. And so they separate, and they have, oh, this person is special, so they're only getting information, and then this person is so special, and they're going to tell the rest of the people, because the rest of the people, you are nothing, you're lower. And so, but in here, everybody have access to that, because you hold that information in your cell. Take one cell out of your body, it will hold all the information of the planet. And planet history and future too. So interesting enough. So that's that's the way to go right now. If you want to know the truth about the planet, go into your own cellular body and pull the information out of there. And because you are, when you're here, you take the blueprint of the planet. You are the planet. You hold all of it within you, and the planet holds you within itself. So this is the oneness with the planet that I talk about. So yeah, we're gonna have access. And so what John Lash talks about, and whatever is missing, you get a couple of Earthlings with him, go through those records, and they'll fill in the blanks. And that's eventually gonna happen. But it's good to have that record. And even though it might have been mistranslated a little bit, or some things are still missing, it's not a full story. How can you expect to have somebody a full story pulling from the record? From what he had, which was not a lot, he got a lot of information out of that. That's a great thing, because there is at least something in writing about the planet. Because we have been living in this imposed astral reality that this planet was treated like she was absolutely nothing. This is a living, breathing, conscious being. And it has a history, and it has a past, and it is incredibly powerful. But there is no record in it, because all was allowed is this imposed astral reality. What we had is in here, the records that we have most of the times, and this is what, your Anunnakis, your gods, and astral beings are your saviors. That was the reality. This is the astral beings shit. That's our history here on planetary history. This is what they present to us, is what's left over. So with some of that information, like Wingmakers, some of that information like from John Lash, we can actually fill in the blanks, put it all together, because there is Earthlings here that can fill in the blanks, that can correct that record, that will it all fits in. I only listened to 2 of his interviews on some kind of alternative radios. I don't know which ones, but I only listened to 2, and so I can't claim that I know everything, and I haven't read the book, even though I have it on my computer now, and I will get into it. I just don't know when. But even from those 2 interviews, I can tell that it's not the astral shit that we have been presented. It's real planetary, information. Yes, because it's capped in this astral reality. It was capped just because it was in this environment. It will get distorted just by as simple as language distortions. Just that distortion will mislead sometimes. So, but we can't just deny that by using this language we don't distort information, because it's not true. We do. And so I talk right now, and what I feel, it completely, I can't express in words what I feel like about this process or that other process, but it's there, but I have to find the words, and I do the best that I can with whatever I have available to me in my mind from this language. So this is what happens. But anyway, I think I'm going to finish talking right now, because it's been almost an hour. But questions and if there's any questions or anything maybe we need to talk about more, please let me know. I do probably will do this some other time. Is I have to go into more a little bit about um, what we need to do. Um, I did say about creating viruses for all these programs that's been running in alternative media and regular media, I guess. Um, but and how you becoming visible will affect you, because you're gonna get attacked and you're gonna have attempts at you know destroying you and your information, because when you show up as a virus, they're not gonna like it. The program doesn't like viruses, okay? So that's just it. So I'm sorry, but you're not gonna be liked by program people. So this is why when people don't like what I have to say and didn't like the interviews that I did, and they claim that I'm this, or I have some sort of agenda, to steer people away from their enlightenment or whatever, and say that enlightenment is harvesting. Um, Somebody wrote that to me, that I'm a dark person because I'm working the dark side and all of that stuff, and that's okay. I expected a lot more of those emails, so it's not a big deal, because I am the virus to the program that they are, and programs don't like viruses because it's crashing them. So anyway, but we'll eventually create a lot of viruses that will crash this whole program off. I would like to see that, because in my lifetime, because that would be nice firework to watch when the program crash, when this harvesting program crashes. So anyway, I guess I'll talk to you next time. Thank you for listening, and thank you for all the feedback. I really appreciate that. So thanks.